Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, this is Rambeard, and today we're gonna talk about one of the most well-known Tauren in the game, Gamon. Before the Cataclysm, class quests were a major part of every character's leveling career. The first class quest a Horde rogue would get was given by Thurzok of the Shattered Hand. The Shattered Hand is a faction of orcs we probably all know by now, and in our timeline quite some Shattered Hand orcs joined the Orcish Horde. Members of this faction now go about the shady business dealt with in Orgrimmar, training rogues, assassinating enemies, etc, etc. When you would reach level 10 on your rogue, Thurzok would send you off on your first assassination mission. You were to kill Tazan, a troll trader that had information Thurzok wanted to have. You were to bring his satchel, but once you'd retrieve it, it appeared to be locked. Tazan did not carry the key with him, and Thurzok tells us about Tazan's assistant, who was likely to carry the key, Gamon. Gamon was a drunkard that was always found in the Orgrimmar Inn, drinking. You had to pickpocket the key from Gamon and open the satchel, completing the quest. This was the way you would learn about pickpocketing, as killing the drunkard did not reward the key. However, friendly NPCs were not pickpocketable, so Gamon was made to be a neutral NPC. This also meant that you could attack him, and boy was he attacked often. Because the quest was obtainable at level 10, Gamon was only level 12, making him one-shottable by loads of people in Orgrimmar. Countless of times could you hear his screams through the Valley of Strength, as he was killed over and over again by anyone that passed him. Even entire raid teams of level 1 characters were formed to kill him. Rogues were barely able to complete their quests, as Gamon would be dead most of the time. Blizzard sure chose a good name for him, as Gamon is a nice kind of meat, and Gamon sure is a meat bag. Even though Gamon is not friendly to the Horde, as we get to know in the Rogue's class quest, he apparently does start to feel at home in Orgrimmar, as he never leaves the city. With the release of Wrath of the Lich King, Death Knights were added. When a Horde Death Knight first entered Orgrimmar, all the Orgrimmar NPCs were unfriendly, but Gamon had turned hostile. This led to players being attacked by him, and even though he didn't do a lot of damage, being level 12 and all, he could still cause some hilarities with the ability Pridebreaker. This ability punted the target player 10 yards away. Priests could actually mind control Gamon, enabling them to punt auctioneers, bankers and even players. Due to the abuse, this ability was removed from Gamon when being mind controlled. In the Cataclysm, the quest to pickpocket Gamon was removed, and he got a huge buff, making him a level 85 elite. People that were used to killing Gamon were in for an unpleasant surprise when they decided to attack him on their own. Death Knights that entered Orgrimmar for the first time were often one-shot by this now super strong Tauren. The buff also got him his unique two-handed axe to strike players down, where he was bare-handed at first. When players got to level 85 and had acquired some gear, Gamon was finally killable once more, and at the end of the expansion he was even soloable. Then came Mists of Pandaria. Even though Gamon was a very minor character that didn't even affiliate himself with the Horde, his great fame among the player base still led to him playing a major role when the city of Orgrimmar got under siege. Before the attacks on Orgrimmar, when the Corcoran orcs, led by Garrosh Hellscream, started their racist and terrible reign, Gamon was driven into a corner by several of those Corcoran orcs, but he was not killed, captured instead. When we assault Orgrimmar, we find Gamon tied to a tree in the drag. We free him and he gives us a little speech.
Thank you. I may be bruised and beaten, but the hatred boils inside me. Many times have I fallen at the hands of an orc, and many times have I risen again, but never again. For every orc that struck me, I will cleave 1,000 of their skulls. This ends here. I, Gamon, will save us.
Many times he has been struck down by the hands of orcs indeed. Blizzard sure knows how to insert subtle jokes. Gamon joins us when we delve into the Cleft of Shadows, where we face all sorts of Corcoran orcs and a massive demon. At the end of the former Ragefire Chasm stands Nazgrim, the 8th boss in the Siege of Orgrimmar raid. When we attack him, Gamon joins in, but states,
"You are an honorable orc, Nazgrim. I regret what I must do."
It's rather peculiar how the drunken cow got to respect Nazgrim so deeply when he's not even part of the Horde. It's also quite an achievement that Gamon, after sitting down on his knee drinking ale and being killed his entire life, is able to excel in combat like he does. Where he learned his techniques we do not know. We kill Nazgrim and Gamon promises the dead orc that his legacy will live on. Gamon stays at Nazgrim's corpse, and when the battle is over he is rewarded with the title Hero of Orgrimmar. He disappears for a while until we've set up our garrison on Draenor. In our inn he awaits us, longing for a proper weapon to cleave Corcoran skulls. We enter the Grimrail depot and retrieve a fitting axe. He thanks us, leaves us, and gives us his braid so that we may ever remember him. When we use this braid, we take on his appearance, and what better way is there to remember him than being him? I'd like to thank you for watching and hope you did enjoy the video. Goodbye.